Hi, today is October 24th, 2023, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1707 for the year, Staten Island Ferry Terminal. The Staten Island Ferry Terminal looks ominous, looms over me like an angry god demanding repentance. I kneel before it and humble myself and sit in ashes and beg for forgiveness. The terminal seems completely unmoved, but I must move. I must go to the office. Whatever it is that I have done, I'll have to figure it out later. Poem number 1708. I shouldn't have said that thing I said. I think maybe I shouldn't have said that thing I said a few days ago about there being no such thing as barely Staten Island. Sometimes you just say something off the cuff and you have no idea who you're going to offend. Of course, with me, I usually have a pretty good idea of who I'm going to offend, and although it may be offensive to say so, punching Staten Island is punching down, which is something I normally don't do. I genuinely feel bad if I hurt Staten Island's feelings, and I know how protective the Staten Island Ferry Terminal can be of Staten Island. So when I left the office yesterday afternoon and headed back to the subway station from whence I emerged yesterday morning, I did my best to make it clear to the terminal that I knew what I had done. And I told the terminal that I shouldn't have said that thing I said a few days ago, and I believe I have made amends. Poem number 1709 for nothing. When you want nothing, you sometimes have to go a long way. Sometimes nothing shows up at your doorstep. Sometimes nothing is just around the corner, but sometimes you have to change at Times Square for the shuttle or the 7 and then go all the way to fucking Fordham or Flatbush or Far Rockaway for nothing. Sometimes you have to go all the way to Staten Island, which, by the way, is a lovely borough even if its politics are fucked, for nothing. You might have to go to Jersey for nothing, or Long Island, or Connecticut. I heard about someone once who had to fly to Cleveland for a connecting flight to Chicago, then to Rome, then take a train to Naples, then take a fucking ferry to the Amalfi Coast, all for nothing. When you really want nothing, sometimes you have to be prepared to go a very long way. But once you get there, you can tell yourself you went all that way for nothing. Poem number 1710, The Hedgehog. Then the thought came, hedgehog. And then there was a hedgehog. And the hedgehog hedged, and the hedgehog hogged. And the hedgehog's hedging took the form of flip-flops that made it hard to understand what the hedgehog wanted or what the hedgehog was going on about. And the hedgehog's hogging took the form of eating just about everything in sight. The hedgehog left the wheat thins and the baguette, but ate everything else. Maybe the hedgehog had an issue with gluten, or maybe the hedgehog suddenly thought better of hogging up all the food just before arriving at the products with gluten. After eating and eating and eating and behaving like quite a hog, the hedgehog hedged a little more, and then decided to spend the rest of the day in the Bronx looking for nothing. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1711, The Bronx. In 1639, Jonas Bronk bought 500 acres in Renaqua, which means the end place. Renaqua was named Renaqua because it was at the southern end of a trailway. Now the Bronx is called the Bronx because of Jonas Bronk, who died just 4 years after making his purchase. Perhaps one day the Bronx will be known as the Hedgehog because of the hedgehog who spent a day there recently. Sometimes posterity is a difficult thing to predict. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.